Hey everybody, welcome to week one, day one of our discipleship journey together. As we're walking through scripture, and we're going to be walking this out every single day. If you did not see the intro video to this, and this is all new, let me give you real quick. Every day, we're going to spend just a few minutes of sharing with you a highlight from our daily reading. And we're going to be walking through the New Testament together. And we're starting in the book of Luke, and so we'll be there today in Luke chapter 1. And the thing is to not just listen to what I have to say, but to share with others what you're learning. And so we want you to come on each day, get in the Word yourself, read Luke 1, and tell us what you learned that day and what you grew in and what helped you. I'm going to encourage you to get a journal, okay? If you will get a journal, and you will mark it with what we see as the HERE method. To show you just on my one, and I have several things on here today, but Luke 1, highlight. What is the highlight? And by highlight, we mean the main passage of scripture that stood out to that day. It may be one verse, it may be multiple verses, but we're trying to keep this in bite-sized forms each day. And so what is the highlight for you? What is the highlight verse? Today it's going to be one verse for me that I'm going to share with you. And explain what is the context of what you're reading. Today is Luke's account to Theophilus, and what he begins in the record of what I'll share with you today is the record of Zacharias being spoken to by the angel about the birth of John the Baptist. And so I want to share with that, explain. And then the main part is the application, that A. Highlight, explain, apply. How does this apply to your life? How does it apply specifically to your life? How does it apply to your overall Christian walk? And then the R is respond. How am I going to respond to that? Because it's no good just say, okay, this is all good, but how am I actually going to respond to it? Now, you may respond with a question. I need to about studying that further, or some understanding, or maybe a action point. I'm going to respond by doing A, B, or C. And so that's what we're going to do each day. So I want you to be a part of this and get in the Word with us each day. And then in the comments, share with us what you learned today, the verses that stood out to you, and how those apply to your life. So I'm going to share with you Luke chapter 1, verse 17. Here for day one, Luke chapter 1, verse 17, and this is the angel speaking to Zacharias about John the Baptist. He said, he will also go before him in the spirit and the power of Elijah to turn the hearts of the fathers to the children and the disobedient to the wisdom of the just, to make a ready people prepared for the Lord. And I'll tell you what stood out with me in that verse is the phrase, to turn the hearts of the fathers to the children. As a father, and understanding that we see the fatherless in our society and see the absence of fathers. And I'm not even just talking about the absence of fathers in the home. Unfortunately, there's fathers who are at home that are still absent from their parents' lives. We see it moving away, and once that happens, the next generation is doomed to repeat it. And my desire is to really engage the hearts of my children. Notice he said to turn the hearts of their children, not just their minds and not just the way they think, but their hearts. And this is a call. This is a call to turn the hearts of fathers to children. You see, God's plan is a spiritual plan. I can go outside and throw the ball with my sons. I can go, do different projects with my daughters. I can do all of that as they're growing, and that doesn't mean I have their heart. And I desire to have their heart, but the only way to have that happen is a spiritual relationship. God, give me a spiritual relationship. Let me as a leader lead them spiritually. And the thing that stood out to me, the thing the Lord kind of spoke to my heart in this, is that it is God's plan for fathers to nurture, not dominate. It's God's plans for fathers to nurture and not dominate. Think about that father. A good friend of mine, he just had his first grandchild, and watching him hold that baby. And I remember holding my children for the first time. And it was so easy at that moment to nurture. But as they grow, it's like I got to put them in line. But if we continue to understand our job as a nurturer, then we embrace not only their bodies when they're small like that, but we embrace their hearts. We embrace their souls. We embrace their emotions. That we really begin to nurture them and teach them in that nurturing. That is so powerful. And so my desire is that God really turns the hearts of my children and the hearts of your children to their fathers. Now that means fathers, we have an obligation to be leaders and to guide and to love. And so I just want to give you that encouragement today to be that father that God's called us to be. So my response is to seek God's best for my children. Seek God's best for my children, not David's best, but God's best. And so share with us what you've learned today. Share with us what week 1, day 1 has applied to you. And let's see God do amazing things in that. God bless. I hope you have an awesome day, and we'll see you tomorrow.